to my channel. I pray that you're blessed and that everyone around you is blessed as well. As you can see, this is my 5-star reads for 2024. So crazy to think that this year is like pretty much over. So let's get into it. "2024, homegirl dipped out. Like, she was like, hi, now it's time for me to leave." So crazy to think that we are like hitting a new year. So instead of doing my December wrap-ups, which your girl did not read that much in December, and I don't know if it's because of a slump or what is happening, but I read 3 full books in the whole month of December, which is so weird to me, but we're not even going to talk about that. One of them is in my 5 stars, which is like a close 5-star, not really, but it's an honorable mention. So we will talk about that one. But my goal for 2024 on Goodreads was 25 books. I don't know why I did that, like such a low number. Maybe because I didn't want to pressure myself. So I just kept it at 25, but I surpassed that like a long time ago and moved it to 50, and I still passed that. So right now I'm sitting at 64 books for the year of 2024, and I have 7 good 5-star reads. So I'm going to talk about them. The first one that I remember was Love in Other Words by Christina Lauren. Elliot is such a good boyfriend. Like, it's a good book boyfriend. This book is so cute and so heartfelt and so good. And it has to do with, there's dual timelines. So something happened when they were younger that followed them to when they were older. And just the twist at the end was unexpected for like a romance. It says fiction, but to me it's more of a romance book. Just so good. And thanks to Shaughnessy for like recommending this book all the time. This is like one of her like 5 stars all the time. She mentions this and she rereads it every year, she says. And so I'm so glad that I read this, and I'm definitely probably gonna reread it again because it was just so cute. I ended up getting a copy for my daughter too, because I was like, you will like this. It's so like it's so memorable. And then my next one that I read was, you know, it's probably gonna be out of order, I don't know. Let's just do this one. So this one was unexpected, and I believe it was my first Abby Jimenez book, and it was Life's Too Short. This one talks about a YouTuber that is like living her best life, and then all of a sudden she has to like take care of her her sister's child or something. It's been so long ago since I read this, but her life ends up changing. Her neighbor ends up like hearing a baby crying and goes over, helps. It's like a whole, like, they end up falling for each other, and then it's just like not a love-hate relationship, but they're both still like trying to figure each other out and all that stuff. But it was so good and very unexpected. I did tab a little bit of it when I was reading it. And it has to do with Vanessa and Adrian, I believe. Yeah, Vanessa is the YouTuber, and she's just like trying to figure out, what am I gonna do with this child? Like, I've never taken care of a kid before. My sister is like living her best ghetto life, and I'm here having to like put my life on hold to watch this child. Luckily Adrian like steps in, was like, I got you, let me help. And she's just like fighting back and forth. It was really good. Next one that caught me off guard was, I believe it was this one first. It was my first Taylor Jenkins read, and it was One True Love. This one was crazy. Like, just imagine you're like at your family's house after your husband like disappears pretty much. Like, he goes on this trip and supposedly is in a plane crash, you're already assuming that he's gone, but then a year later you get a phone call and it's him, but you've already moved on. So good. Like, you wanted to root for both guys. You wanted to root for the husband because that was like her first love. Like, they got married and they had this whole plan of like traveling the world and taking pictures and journaling and all that. But then he dies, and so she's like, well, what do you know, I don't want to move on. I don't want to move on. Her sister talks her into moving on. She ends up meeting this guy from, like, I believe they knew each other from high school, and she ends up falling for him. They get engaged, and her husband's like, by the way, I'm alive. When are we gonna meet up? So she's like struggling. This is so good. The show I did not like, or the movie that they made I did not like. It was too cheesy for me. So so I ended up, was like, I need to read another Taylor Jenkins read, and I read Forever Interrupted. I don't know which one I read first, but no, you know what? She's just one of my auto buys. This one's Forever Interrupted. This is about a girl ends up meeting someone at this pizza place and hit it off quick. They hit it off. They end up like falling for each other so quick. They got married quick, and then he ends up, I don't know if they got married or were engaged or something. He ends up going to the store to get her, I believe it was Fruity Pebbles or something, some kind of cereal that she really liked. He ends up getting hit by a bus or car or something. It dies because he was on his bike, and she didn't know it was him until she sees all these sirens. She has like a feeling that it was him. She runs over there. It's him. He dies. At the hospital, she finally meets his family. His mom is man, like, I did not like her. She irked my soul. I ended up tabbing this. I think I wrote in here, yeah, this is like my first like introduction to like annotating, and I was like, let me give it a shot. Now the writing part, this is the only book that I've written in, and I don't want to write anymore in any of my books, but I will tab, definitely. And so yeah, this was really good. It had me crying. Like, it was just so good. Now summer came, and I was like, I need a summer read. I went back to my homegirl Abby Jimenez just for the summer. This is like my first 6-star read. I sobbed so much because I could relate to the mother-daughter relationship, and then to throw in the romance. This is just so good. Like, Emma and Justin are one of my favorite couples that I'm going to think about forever. Like, there was so much like triggering topics in this one book, but it was also like so heartfelt. So in the beginning, Justin has like this Reddit account, and he's like posting stuff about like how he has this curse that when he dates someone and then they break up, that person goes, finds the love of their life, and they get married. He's like struggling, like, what am I gonna do? So Emma was just like, I think it was her friend that found it, was like, listen to this story. And so she was like, oh my God, that's me too. Like, every time I've dated someone and we break up, they end up getting married to the next person they date. She was like, so let's figure this out. Like, so they hook up, and they tell each other, hey, we have the same curse. What if we date each other, break up, it cancels it out, and we end up getting married to the person we meet next. Just so good. Just so good. I love this book. I still think about it. Okay, enough about that, because that was like a big book for the summer, and I'm sure everybody's talked about it. The next one that was very unexpected, and it was my first 5-star thriller, and it's The Good Lie by A.R. Torrey. Like, suspenseful, like plot twisting. And it was funny because when I read it, I believe I had gotten COVID, so I was just chilling in bed, and I was like, let me finish it. And then coming to find out, one of my book besties was reading the same thing, and she was sick. She thinks she had the same thing. Like, it was so funny. Like, and we both gave this like 5 stars. It was our first 5-star thriller. Like, it was just so good. It's about this psychiatrist is trying to figure out this like killing situation, and like just trying to just piece things together. It was just good. If you have not read it, I highly recommend. Now, my last, no, not even. I'm going to do the honorable mention, but this is my last like 5-6 star read, and it's definitely The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book put her on the map for me. Like, auto buy for sure. Definitely tabbed it. I tabbed a lot of it, and then I ran out of tabs, so half of this is just, I dog-eared it. I need to go back and tab it. But the emotion, I've talked about this book a bunch of times. I talked about it in my November wrap-up, I believe. But so good. I don't even know how to explain it, and I don't even want to think about it because I'm gonna cry. But it's my first historical fiction as well. It takes place in World War II, and just so good. Like, Vivian and Isabel, like their sisterhood. This is how, like, you can tell sisters by like how they react to things. Like, I don't know, they were sisters, so I mean, they love each other, but they're so different, and they reacted differently, and they did different things, but they all, like, everything that they did affected what would happen later. So good. Definitely can't wait to read more of Kristen Hanna. I have like a whole stack here. I'm just like buying every book that she has written because it's that good. Now, my honorable mention that I read in December, which actually threw me off guard and shocked me, is at how good I really liked it. One Day in December by Josie Silver. I buddy read this with my girl Joyce. I love you so much. Like, it was so fun buddy reading this with you. You said you read it before, but you wanted to read it again, and you like hit points that like I wouldn't have guessed, and like it was just so nice communicating. And I will leave Joyce's info in the description. Like, she is the sweetest. I love her content. Like, every time she posts, I am clicking and I am watching to the end, and I am commenting, all that jazz. Like, go follow her if you're not following her. Joyce, I absolutely love you. You're just the sweetest. And it was so nice, like you said, you know, communicating outside of social media. And I can't wait to meet up with you. Like, either I go to where you are or you come this way. We're gonna keep talking, okay? And we're probably gonna have to buddy read something else because it was so fun. So this is talking about, this girl is on a bus and she looks out the window, sees this guy reading on a bench, and they lock eyes, love at first sight. She does not get off the bus to like go meet up with him, and he doesn't get on to meet her. Like, so a year passes and she's still thinking about this guy, and she's talking to her best friend about him, and her best friend's like, you have to find this guy, blah blah blah. And she's just like, no, like, where am I gonna find him? And then her best friend at the same time is talking about this guy that she's really in love with, and she can't wait for, you know, her to meet him. And as soon as her friend Sarah brings the guy over, Lori is like, that's my bus guy. Like, that's him. What do you do? Like, this is my first miscommunication trope that I've ever read. It was irking me to the core. Irking me, and me and Joyce were like, we feel the same way. Like, why not just, if that's your best friend, like best friend, why don't you just tell her, hey, that's the guy that I've been looking for? I mean, she's gonna get mad at you regardless, or she's gonna be like, "Hey, then that's all yours." But at the same time, she's putting everyone's feelings before her own, which got me. And then he tried to play it off like, "No, I don't know her," like blah blah blah. But he's like fighting in his mind himself and wants to be with her. It was so good. It was dual timeline. What I well, you know, kind of dual timeline, because it would go back to when they first seen each other, but then it would come back to like current time. And then what I liked too is, like, before the chapters, some of the chapters, she would write her New Year's resolution. And I was like, there was one of the questions and at the back of the book that was saying, how do you feel? Let me see if I can find it. And we answered a couple of these while we were buddy reading, and it made you really think. So it says, how do you Lori's New Year's resolutions evolve through the years? And I had messaged her and said, you can tell the growth, like, after so many years, you can tell the growth in her New Year's resolutions. And I was like, us as people, we do like these high expectation resolutions, and sometimes they fail, sometimes they don't. But then we also adapt and create solutions to where we are in life, and I feel it's what Lori was doing. There was like, there was so many emotions. I did cry towards the end. It was just so good. Like, you can feel the emotion, you can feel like it. That's when you know a book is good, when you can feel like if you're there, like you can talk to these people and stuff. So good. I gave it like a 4.5, 4.75, so that's why I'm giving this an honorable mention. I do have quite a bit of 4.5, 4.75 books, but this one, since it was the last one and it was during the month of December, which I am technically not doing, like I said, I'm not doing a December wrap up because I only read 3 books, and this was one of them that was very memorable. So that's the one for December, and I actually really liked it. Now, comment down below if you had any 5-star reads, or if you had some that, if you had like a genre that you were surprised that you actually loved, because historical fiction had never been on my radar. And I'm so glad that I read Kristen Hanna's book, because now I love historical fiction. Like, I want to read so many historical fiction books. And I did buddy read that Nightingale with my friend Blossom, and I will post her info in the description as well. So with that being said, what are your goals for 2025? I don't know if I want to set a reading goal for myself, because it was pressure, you guys. It is real pressure that I don't need to be putting on myself in this new coming year. Like, I just want to read and have fun. I have so many books that I want to read, and I think I'm going to switch up how I pick my books monthly, because as you can see, I picked all these for December and only read 3 out of all these. So I'm not doing that. And also, let me know where you keep track of your like reading statuses, because I started with Goodreads, and then now I'm on Fable, which I'll probably put my info down in the description as well. But there is this other app that I found on TikTok called TBR Bookshelf or something like that, which is a little bit easy too, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I want to use. Goodreads, it stinks you can't do like 0.5s, 0.75s, you know, star ratings. So I don't know. Let me know what you use and what you like, because I'm really debating if I'm going to switch over to another platform to keep track of my reading. So with that being said, I hope that 2024 treated you with so much love and respect and joy and peace, and that 2025 is just a new year to start new and to make new memories and all that stuff. And I want to thank you personally from the bottom of my heart for all the love that you have shown me on this platform as well as on IG. I'm just overjoyed, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you, and I hope we walk into the new year together and create new memories on my channel. So with that being said, remember that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. Talk to you later. Bye.